Hello and welcome. I'm Adri Gregan, and I'm back for more Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. We're getting into episode 13 now, and I believe we've only got about 11 episodes left, so we're past the inflection point, past the halfway point. And yeah, we're certainly picking things up in the Shibuya incident. It seems like we've got our first major 1v1 coming up now. Obviously, it's going to be Yuji versus Choso, and I've got a feeling that they're not going to get all the way through their fight without Volcano Head and or Mahito interrupting. Hopefully both, so we get this 1v1v1v1. But I don't think they'll interrupt too quickly because we certainly need Yuji and Choso to have a moment. Choso just so he can have his moment, period, but Yuji so he can reflect back on the climax of season 1 when he killed Choso's two brothers. That was obviously a pivotal moment in the development of the story and in him finding his conviction and deciding whether or not he's willing to kill humans, and blurring the line between humans and curses. So I feel like revisiting the death paintings is going to be a great way to revisit that theme, really, and see how far Yuji has grown. Now, there were a couple of things from last episode that I want to bring up that were mentioned in the comments. First, and most importantly, bar none, without question, was the fact that my boy Ijichi, whose name I've been pronouncing correctly this entire time, is alive. And I completely missed the part where Nita said that. Thank heavens. I cannot tell you how happy that makes me. I cannot tell you how happy that makes me. Ijichi is alive. He's, well, maybe not well, but he's still kicking. So he lives to scold Yuji another day, which makes me so immensely happy. I can't believe I missed that. I guess I was too busy being confused that Nita was as composed as she was after being stabbed so many times. But yeah, he's okay. And I feel like I'm going to be okay too as a result. That doesn't make what that creepy guy did any more forgivable, and I'm still very happy. I'm rolling in the schadenfreude that he got knocked around, but at least we got our boy still. Now, regarding that guy, whose name I will continue to choose not to remember, there was an interesting comment also left that his obviously his technique has not been like fully revealed. He said himself that he doesn't understand how it works. I'm curious if he's not down for the count quite yet, since there are still lingering questions about him. I was challenged to potentially guess what his technique is, but by the context clues I've been left. And the biggest clue seems to be that he would have died from Nani's punch if not for it. And also, while his sword, like moving around on its own, isn't his technique, it's just a quirk of the sword, apparently. The most notable thing for me is when it was in the air and he caught it as Nobara was coming at him. So my just kind of shot in the mostly dark guess would be that it has something to do with adjusting the trajectory of objects, maybe not the trajectory per se, but adjusting the momentum of things. So like if it jumps in the air, he can make it fly higher. Or if somebody punches him, he can like lessen the momentum of that or something like that, perhaps. Perhaps it also has something to do with the fact that he suddenly knew that Nita was still running around after she got slashed by the sword. He suddenly changed courses and noticed that she wasn't hiding. So there's something weird there. There's a lot of weirdness about him. So it could be any number of things, but I guess I'll lock in my guess. And that's pretty much what it is. Those were two of the big things, but the final one is, despite my joking at the start of this video, easily the biggest one. And the thing that I'm a little bit more mortified and disappointed in myself that I didn't catch on to at all. And that's the fact that Toji's like proper yet unanticipated reincarnation is a further development of the worldviews that have been presented, specifically by Fate Ghetto and by Mahito, about the relationship of the soul and the body. Now, Theo in the comments leaves a incredibly detailed, incredibly articulate, and just incredible comment about this. I won't share it here because it's just too long to share, but I will leave a little note up in the corner, up, like right around there, to the video, to the last episode, and just check in the comments, it'll be there. And a longer response for me will be in there as well, because such an articulate comment deserves a equally articulate reply, which I can't really provide in the camera. So I'll be responding in a comment as a reply to his. Check that out if you want to see that exchange, pretty much. Now, in layman's terms, and to dumb it down significantly, sorry you'll have to experience me dumbing down your ideas this much, Theo, but what he's presented so far is that, and what Akutami has presented thus far, is Mahito's original idea that the soul precedes the body. Since he is as a cursed spirit, he's effectively a soul who can freely manipulate his body at will. His worldview is that the soul precedes the body. It has preeminence, if you would, and the body is subject to the soul, in a sense. The body forms around the soul. With Fake Ghetto, or Brain, whatever you want to call him, I like calling him Brain, an idea I got from Alex. I'm not even going to pretend like I thought of that one. For him, there is a sort of equality to it. His paradigm is that they are equal in a sense, or at the very least, there is a lingering dreg of the soul within the body. So obviously, Ghetto died. His soul should have left his body. And his brain is no longer in his body either. And yet his body clearly seems to remember, well, not only his memories, but a lot of his emotions, a lot of his personality, and just, it's like there is a Ghetto inside of his body, despite not having a brain inside of it anymore, or his brain inside of it anymore. So it challenged the idea that the soul is supreme, because the soul, for all intents and purposes, after death, should not be there anymore. That changes a little bit if you believe that the soul is tied to cursed energy, because Brain can use Ghetto's cursed techniques. So it could be that his soul is lingering onto those cursed techniques, and that's why he's there. But that gets complicated further now that we have Toji, a man who is obviously dead, but due to his heavenly pact, does not have any cursed energy. Zero. Unlike our Zhang Maki, our lovely upperclassman Maki, he is completely empty, and he has instead a body that is as close to perfection as Gojo is to being enlightened, let's say. And yet Toji, despite his bodily information being summoned by the old lady's seance, was able to wrestle control over the soul that should have been puppeteering him, and took full control of the grandson. So Toji represents a third worldview now, a view that the body is supreme to the soul. This also contradicts the idea that the soul is attached to the cursed energy, because he doesn't have any cursed energy. So how does he have a soul if he has no cursed energy? A lot of conflicting worldviews. One thing that was presented a few episodes back in episode 10, I believe, was that Mahito presented that perhaps different people with different techniques have like different worlds. They have different paradigms entirely. And while I don't want to discredit that or write it off entirely, I think it's more interesting to try to find a worldview that encompasses all of them, because that is what science does, right? If it finds contradicting evidence, then clearly there must be a hidden answer that we haven't considered yet. So allow me to throw my own hat in the ring and try to present a worldview that includes all of them. Simply, my proposition is that the soul imprints itself onto the body, and in a sense, creates a copy of itself within the body. In Mahito's case, the body can be destroyed all at once, because the soul, the original copy, can continue to create more of a body. With Ghetto, when his soul passes on, the copy remains inactive within his body. So when another brain and another soul takes over his body, that copy is sort of brought back to life with his body and kind of lingers. With Toji, his soul is the copy of his soul that is in his body, again, remains even after his death. So when his body is reincarnated, then that part of his soul reactivates. Now, that begs the question of why Toji is unique in his soul, or him overpowering old lady Ogami's soul. And to that, I wouldn't say that concludes that the body is spirit of the soul. I think that is too reductive. I think it is instead it is a battle, and whichever in that instance is stronger takes control. So the only reason that Toji was able to overcome the old lady's soul is because his body was stronger than her soul. Whereas every other time when she'd done that before, her soul was able to overpower the body. Now, if she were to try to copy the body and the soul's information into the body, then they would probably combine together and they would overwhelm her. But since she's only been doing the body's information, her soul is strong enough that it's been able to overcome them. But since Toji has the heavenly pact that enhances his body to inexplicable levels, he was able to overcome the soul. And I think it's a case by case, kind of not a rock, paper, scissors, but just whose attack is higher and whose defense, or just comparing two different power levels, right? Whoever's power level is higher gets to take control. And that's a working theory that I just came up with like 10 minutes ago that seems to align with all the pieces I have here. And I just realized that I said I would leave a comment about my thoughts about it, and then I just ended up leaving it here. I guess thank you, Theo, because you got me thinking so much that I simply had to share it. And I was able to articulate pretty well, so pretty cool. So I guess I won't leave that comment after all. I'll still link it, though, because you definitely should, and please do read Theo's original comment, both in the last episode and episode 10. They are both incredible, and they are the crux and even better worded than my response here. Now, those are the main three things. Ichichi being alive, the possible power of Creepy Guy, and the further developments of the soul versus body debate, let's say. And that's pretty much all I said I wanted to get into the episode. I can't English anymore after that spiel. I've lost the ability to English, apparently. That's pretty much all I wanted to cover before getting into the episode. We're already almost over 12 minutes in, so I'm sure you're impatient if you haven't just skipped ahead. So we're just going to go into the episode. I'm not going to waste either of our times. Okay. Yuji versus Choso. Are they going to give it to us right away, or are we going to see some other things? Oh, we've got Mei versus the freaking smallpox deity, special grade curse, which is apparently a thing, the smallpox deity in Japan. So that's going to be really exciting. Even without knowing about the smallpox deity, smallpox as a historian is horrifying, so no wonder it's a special grade curse. But the fact that it's specific, like a specific deity that people in Japan have prayed to, is so interesting to me. And it's no wonder it's as strong as it is. I really enjoyed that shot. Oh, hey. That was really fun, seeing from this perspective, like scanning around with a little bit of shake. It reminds me of Mob Psycho Season 2, fighting against that teleporting guy. Don't move. Red scale. Okay. And it wasn't lost on me. We've got Inumaki in the house, which is awesome. I don't think we've really seen him this arc yet, so... I don't think we've really seen him this season, so that's awesome. You are my special. Oh, such a good opening. So just literally dripping with atmosphere. Especially one thing I haven't really commented on about this opening is its contrast with Where Our Blue Is, the last opening. Obviously, this is a very classic duality. The red and blue, the good and the bad. See it in, for an example, My Hero Academia's final opening. But it's just a very classic comparison of like good and evil. So it feels very intentional that the first opening, Where Our Blue Is very, as the title suggests, blue focused, whereas this opening is just dyed in red from beginning to end. That has to be intentional. It feels like that has to be intentional, right? That's really cool. Really emphasize the stark contrast. Oh. Still hits just as hard as the first time I heard it. I wonder when we'll get to see what the Zhang head leader can do. So we haven't really seen that yet. Oh, that's some smooth walking. Okay, yeah, with the cut in the start of the episode and this, we've got a treat ahead of us, don't we? This episode. We've got some serious talent working on this episode. I can already tell. And sorry if I got if I'm getting your hopes up. I'm not good with like staff and like animators, so I won't be like calling out names or anything. But I know animation when I see it. And I know really cool tracking shots when I see it like that. That's fun. Comes down and there he is. He looks so miserable. Whoa. Oh, the blank face. Yeah, death painting jump scare. Convergence. Ooh, compressing blood and then shooting out the stream. Yeah. Incredibly high pressure. Nice. Faster than the speed of sound. Oh wow, what a great shot. Oh wow. Piercing blood. Yeah, this episode is gonna be a joy. Oh my god. They definitely got a guest director for this. Ooh, that effect too. Wow. That's his signature move. Oh, even the animation of his gasping for breath looks great. You've got to leave it in the comments. Who's behind this episode? There's clearly something. Ooh. Yeah, you're gonna have to be specific. I don't think he just knows that. Oh. How dare you? Yeah. There's no talking out of this. Oni-chan-da. Wow, look at that. Ooh. It's so cool, like the balls of blood knocks it away and it leads to technique and scatters. Yeah, because he's gathering pressure to create a stream, so he can also create, like, he can also solidify them. Wow. And yeah, he can draw upon the blood he's already used. That's so cool. It's blood bending. It's just blood bending. Except it's not that simple, right? It's all pressurizing it. So it's not as simple as like he can just freely manipulate it. So there's so much more technique going on in this than it seems. And then the silence. The standoff. Yeah, you need to get close. What are you
発射のタイミング
planning?
はこっちで決めさせてもらう。
誘ってるな。いいだろう。
Okay. Tension. Oh, flashing through his hands. Great. There you go, getting close.
やっぱりだ。この技が速いのは最初だけ。一度良ければ詰められる。
Yeah, because moving it, you don't have the pressure like you did before. Oh! Oh, he had them preset it? Oh! Jeez! Fight through the pain. There you go, Yuji. And he's already preparing. Too close to dodge. Ugh. Good though, avoiding fatal blows. It's no wonder he was too close.
くそ、こいつ。強い。
Yeah. And he's a mid-range fighter, so it's perfect counter to your short range. It's like using a Naginata to a sword. Oh, that's right, huh? Because he was using the blood, yeah. I totally forgot about that. Ooh, there's a mid-card OST playing. Piercing blood and blood blade. Yeah. Oh, that's great. The signs.
Ooh.
Okay. The restroom. That's better than I've got right now. Yeah, 10's better than 0. But why the restroom?
バカが。そこにあるのはトイレとエレベーターのみ。どこに逃げ込んでも袋のネズミだ。何の音だ？
Does it have to do with like the water, the pipes in the restroom? That's the only thing I can think of. Like just the water pipes might disrupt his blood. Whether he breaks them and the water starts coming, or it's got to do with the plumbing somehow. Or is he just trying to get him into... Ooh. Your attacks are going to be a lot weaker, right? It's going to be a lot harder with the blood. Yeah, and close quarters. Ooh. All right. Mekamaru's done. He did what he had to, though. Is he changing the pressure in the room?
術式効果を上げるため、常時血液の凝固反応をオフにしている。そのため、上層の血液は他のものより水に溶けやすい。
Dissolves in water, yeah.
水にさらされた血液の中では浸透圧により赤血球が膨れ、細胞膜が破れる。
Wow.
血液の約 45% を占める血球成分がコントロールできなくなり、 略連は解かれた。
Wow.
メカ丸の狙いは正しい。
That's why you take chemistry class, friends.
今この状況
Chemistry, biology, a
長宗
little
は
bit of
体
both.
外での血液操作が不可能となった。
Wow. So he's got to get out of there. But Yuji's right there, so
責任躍動
you got something else?
戦闘
I wonder if he
経験
can
の浅い
affect the body in his own body,
何
right?
が起こったのか理解
So he can probably enhance his own attacks to a
冷
degree.
静に現実を受け止め血液操作を体内で完結させる。
Though whether that'll make him match up to Yuji is another story entirely.
そんな聞く余裕なかったからな。
I've got a feeling he won't,
これだけは
because Yuji's on another level.
俺の土俵に
Now that he's lost his mid-range, this should be easy as long as you don't flub. Draining away the water, the blood. Oh, the suspense, and again, the red and the blue being inverted is interesting. Ooh. Throwing the grate at him to get close. Yeah, his attacks are a lot stronger than they'd normally be. That is awesome. Okay. Wow, okay, he is fast. Whoa. Yes, yeah! Fight his hand! That's the Yuji I know. Oh, with his foot. Awesome.
勝利を確信した時、水にさらさぬよう水に溶け出さぬよう限界まで凝固圧縮し呪力で強化した血の塊が虎杖裕二の肝臓を貫い
Ooh. Oh, shh.
赤血操術血
Blood
清石
meteorite.
もう飛び道具はないと。
Yeah, that's
どこを
clever.
やられた。
Oh, that's not good. Yeah, that's really bad.
負ける。
But you're not done yet, though.
理解した。俺の役割。
Unless he's gonna swap with
ナ
Sukuna.
ナミンが。
He's got to,
先輩たちも
right?
みんなここを通って五条先生のところへ行けるよう。
Or is he just gonna fight through it? Yeah.
にする。
Beat him even if it kills me.
五条先生を助けるのは。
Okay, is that what you're going
じゃな
for?
くていい。
Pierce liver, buddy. That's
3発だ
you were not gonna last long.
ガードしたものを除いて俺が食らった虎杖の打撃
Wow,
そ
took
れ
out
が
a
ここ
two.
まで血清石は高度だけ鮮血ほどの速度も威力もない不意打ちでなければ貫通させることなどできなかっただろう
赤血操術は通常血清石のように血を凝固させない。血陣も輪郭を定め血液を高速で回すことで殺傷力を高める。赤血操術の術師といえど全ての血管に意識が届くわけではない。
So he's gonna coagulate his own
す
blood
ると
to make it more
血
dense.
栓症のリスクを抱えることになる。
Yeah.
虎杖
Less pierce, but more strength. Perfect for his
はるかに
fists.
大きいと長宗は判断した。
Despite the risks. Oh. This is a martial arts match right here. Everything on the line. Oh, the limited camera angle. Great. Great. That's what he was doing with it? He turned into a bullet. Dude. Yeah, doesn't last long. Oh, through the stalls. This is gritty. Oh, jeez. Oh, and the music. It dolls out a bit. Freaking Side. Freaking Wolverine. Oh, with the pierced liver, too. Yuji is a beast. Oh, nice. Whoa.
俺は小手以
The leg
外
hook?
拳を使ってないもう使えないって思ってるだろうだから
No way. It stopped?
今の手応えは
What was that? Oh. Wait, what just happened? He reinforced his body. Wow. Wasn't enough. Sukuna, if you want to see Fushiguro come alive, you're gonna have to take control here, buddy. I don't think Yuji's got this one. Choso's a beast. I was not expecting that. Oh. In the afterlife.
くだらん
Yeah.
この程度の角に負けると
Can't believe you made me do something. Or is he just gonna let it happen? There's no way he's just gonna let it happen. Or also that was really cool. Oh, and the different aspect ratio. What just happened? What? What? Oh, his blood. Yeah. Oh, jeez. Maybe not.
突如長宗の脳内に溢れ出した
Memories. Is this the part in the opening where he's like freaking out? So Sukuna was just gonna let Yuji die for being weak. Are these the memories of the body he's inhabiting? What in the... Oh! His little brother. Yuji. What is happening? And the other siblings still in their womb state. What in the world?
ほら兄ちゃんも
What is happening? Jump cut to him. No, smashing it. Yeah, what is going on? Why is he like falling apart? Piece shatters. Don't tell me that's Fiend. That's Fiend. Was that a full... Just just them duking it out with some words from the narrator. That was just the episode. Credit scene. Ooh, that's rare. Ooh, the Gojo's disciples, I guess. So they snuck out. Where are they going? Oh, they're trying to find.
じゃあ始めるよ。
Oh, get started.
モンデイ
マンデ
チューズデー
ーうんうん
ウェドネスデイ
ウェンズデ
Where on this day?
次回妖刀
I don't understand it
あん
either.
な読み方
お前
No
より
clue.
頭のいい人だボケ
Debatable. Whew. What an episode. Just an entire episode of just fisticuffs, pretty much. I mean, I wish I could make my usual joke of Jujutsu Kaisen, but it wasn't really a whole lot of grappling, so Jujutsu isn't really the right word for it. Just gritty hand-to-hand combat and hand-to-blood combat, I suppose, with them adapting to each other's techniques, which, let's be honest, Yuji did an incredible job being practically jump scared by this encounter at all. The fact that he was able to hold his own this much and do so well, admittedly with a lot of Mekamaru's help, but it is massive props to Yuji. I mean, yeah, what a great episode. There wasn't really much here, right? I mean, there's a lot of... This episode is clearly different, right? I wouldn't be surprised if there was a guest key animator just taking this episode in under his own wings. I mean, there's so much, right? I mean, I can't go through too much of it because I'll have to like black it all off, but I mean, the angles here are nice, but where is it? Here we go. This. I mean, it's the classic first person perspective, looking here, scanning look over here, but it's not unique, but the way it's handled is just so... It's like the perfect way of doing it, right? The slightly shaky cam, the slight blur as it moves. It's something you see a million times, just done exceptionally. It's great. And then we've got Inumaki Senpai's here. He makes his way down, and immediately we finally learn about Choso's power. He applies pressure to blood, compress it, and uses that pressure to create a stream of blood, and also use it to create like little like icicles in different forms, different like weapons of blood. I likened it to like an Avatar, which I admittedly haven't seen, but it's like blood bending, right? Kind of like water bending, which I'm pretty sure water benders can do. They can do blood because blood is largely water, but it's not quite blood bending, right? Because he specifically creates streams of he specifically applies high pressure to blood. So everything that seems like it's just like manipulating it like free like telekinesis isn't quite that. It's a lot more specific than that. He has to be more creative in doing what we just see is what seems like telekinesis. And it's easy to forget that, but it just shows how incredibly skilled he is, and the blood just looks incredible. I love how they went for a far more, I mean, the whole episode's really artsy, but they went for a more stylized version where it's like glowing and just this, not like a single hue per se, but it almost looks like a screen, like an LED screen, instead of the blood you'd expect it to be. And there's these like different forms of it. When it's super condensed, it creates that like lit like LED effect. But it's much darker when it's coalescing, I guess, when he's bringing it all together. I won't go through every single step of this battle because that'll take forever, but it's just incredible seeing the back and forth and just the idea of using the water so it effectively disperses the blood. I'm not gonna go through the full science of it. I'm not a scientist. It makes sense as I'm reading it, but if you ask me to explain it, I have I struggle a little bit, but I understand it effectively. It's really smart. Even if you don't fully understand the science, it makes sense that in a room filled with water where he's manipulating a liquid-like substance, it would disrupt it to some degree. Obviously an oversimplification, but it makes intuitive sense and it works, right? And that's really cool. I really love that about Jujutsu Kaisen. This fight really exemplifies what's so great about its fights, is that it really does its homework, and it rewards people who have enough knowledge about these mechanics to hypothesize how these things might work. And for those of us who don't do that much homework, it creates an absolute joy to see because everything is logical, everything makes sense. It's like Dr. Stone, except with a little bit of a fantasy tilt on it, where it's like, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. This like standoff between the two as they have to go close combat is really great. The way he effectively enhances his body because he can only use techniques inside of his body, or at least for the most part. Any outside techniques will scatter quickly. And yet he also uses that to get the jump on Yuji to surprise him because Yuji assumes that he can't use techniques outside of his body anymore, and he uses that to his advantage. This is easily my favorite cut, without question. It's all in ones, and the tracking shot is just the first POV tracking shot. I think you would call it, but following him is first person POV is already a lot of fun. But the fact you do it on such a dynamic motion where he's darting around the corner, he's leaping up and like the world tilts on his side because he's sleeping up and grabbing onto the wall, grabbing onto the pole, using it to pull himself through. It's so fun. That's such a fun maneuver to take us through the first person POV. It's so fun. This episode is so fun. There's not too much for me to talk about like what I normally like talking about, like about philosophy or about different parts of life or building out themes, at least not that I can tell. Maybe it's like last episode where I'm just completely blanking on something. And I'm sure there are things that I'm blanking on. The comments will help me with that. But I just want to appreciate this episode for what it is. A brilliant display of how to make an engaging, evolving fight that lasts for an entire anime episode, which is a long time, as I'm sure you're familiar. Unless you're like Dragon Ball Z and you extend out a fight for 20 episodes, it's really hard to have a 1v1 fight where you don't really have external factors, Mechamaru excluded, and have it last for a full episode. And this really does last a full episode. But it's really about that evolution, that stepwise logical evolution that you can follow even if you can't predict it. Like setting out a good mystery. You don't want them to predict it, but you want them to follow as the pieces come into play. And it sets that up perfectly. I think this was the perfect episode to have that incredibly like unique, personalized directorial flair to it because of how unique it is to all the other episodes. It's just this standalone fight, just Yuji versus Choso. So I'm really glad that they chose to really lean into how unique this episode is, especially compared to the previous ones. We may have more in the future. I really hope we do, because this was exceptional. Such a joy to watch. Oh, it's so cool. And then this is really interesting. Sukuna's perfectly ready to let Yuji die because he was weak, pathetic for losing to this guy. But then he stops because he starts having memories that never happened of what could be, what could have been. Almost like what happened, almost like the retconned past that Toto had back in season 1, except that was clearly intentional, something that not intentional, maybe he like subconsciously created it, or he decided that was his new reality, but this doesn't make sense. He shouldn't want something like this. So what's going on? And why is it like tormenting him? I thought originally it was like maybe the body that ate the death painting, but clearly that's not the case because it's the death paintings with Yuji. So what exactly is happening? I'll have to wait until next time to find out, I suppose. I'm excited. If you're excited as well, then do subscribe to get notified whenever that next episode comes out. It'll be in like 2 days. I do JJK 3 days a week until I'm caught up. And by the time I'm caught up, the first core will be almost over, but I'll shift it to a weekly after that. But do subscribe if you want to be notified for that. If you like it, please do like it. It shows me and the algorithm that you enjoyed it, and the algorithm shows it to more people, which is awesome. So more people can enjoy it. Same thing with the comments. If there's something in the episode that I missed, and I'm sure there is, or something you want to bring to my attention, or something I said that you agree or disagree with, you want to build off of, yeah, leave it in the comments. I'd love to open discourse with you. As you could tell from before the episode with my incredibly long talk about Theo's comment, I love interacting with them. I don't always respond to them, but I read every single one. And if I don't respond in the actual comments, I will respond in a video like this. Or I'll at least just heart it if it's just a great comment, but I don't have much to add on to it, then I'll just do that. But yeah, I would love to see you down in the comments. But regardless, wherever I see you next, until then, have a lovely rest of your day.